It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Meloni.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday, and welcome yet again to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Again, weekday mornings at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ. A show that's a business variety show each and every morning as I talk to different business owners, entrepreneurs, political, and community leaders about what they are doing in the community to make a difference. So I invite you to tune in each and every weekday morning at 8 a.m. if you're finding the show on the air for the first time. Also, if you check out my website, tampabayradio.com, over there you can catch all the show updates and a lot more about the show, as well as you'll notice I sell real estate. I am a real estate broker with Coldwell Banker, specializing in the sale of bank-owned properties. And over on the website, you can peruse all the local real estate listings, as well as see my pre-listed properties prior to hitting the marketplace via the pre-list properties tab on the home page. Also, I invite all of my listeners out there that would like to become a part of the show. I'm always looking for content for the show. If you have a great story to tell, if you're a political or community leader, or got a great business out there that's really booming, or maybe just even a startup, I'd love to hear from you. That's what this show is all about, you know, what's going on in the Tampa Bay and the surrounding communities. So please take a moment to message me if you're interested in coming on to the show. Best way to get me is through the contact form at tampabayradio.com. Also, connect with me on all the different social media sites to stay up to date with show happenings and proceedings. Facebook.com/That Business Show, and under Twitter under the name Jamie_Meloni, just to name a couple of them. I got a guest in studio today. We're talking with her here in just a little bit. I'll be speaking with Kai Yaniz, who's a managing member and financial coach with the Vault Key. So we'll be talking with her here in just a little bit. Charlie the plumber, unable to be in studio here. All this rain has got him a little bit backed up, so to speak. No pun intended there with his plumbing business. But we wish him the best, and he'll be back in here soon. But I wanted to actually start the show here with, I got my producer in studio here, Josh Voss. We were all, I think, a little bit disturbed yesterday by the story that broke, while I was on the air, with the shooting of the reporter and the cameraman, and then the person being interviewed. And Josh, we didn't even realize, you didn't even know that was going on until about 11 o'clock, right?
No. Actually, how I found out is me and Doc, after the second show that we do here, he always has me put it on CNN. Mm-hmm. So we put it on CNN, and that video is playing right as we turned it on. Yeah,
it was a shocking thing, I'm here. I am. I go to the office. I turn on the news, see what's happening, and right there, it is. And the guy's tweeting live from his Twitter feed, and he puts the video up there. And what's disturbing about it is, you have all these autoplay features, and so you put it on Facebook. People had it on there. You had it on Twitter, and it was just, you saw it over and over and over again yesterday, and it really bothered me. I don't know about yourself, but it really irked me to see somebody just going about their job and then to become a victim of this disgruntled employee.
Yeah, well, what really bothered me about it is not just that it was everywhere. I believe the video should be made available. People should see it, but it shouldn't be shoved in our faces every time you turn on the TV or you scroll your Facebook feed, things like that. But I'm in the business. I know a lot of people that are in news that go out and they risk their skin every day, and this could happen to them. So for me, it felt all too real. Not to mention, I also operate a camera. I did a TV show where we did a lot of man-on-the-street interviews, and we did it in downtown St. Pete, so there was a lot of alcohol. There were some scary situations, but you could never imagine. You're doing what you love. Mm-hmm. You never imagine that that's something that can happen. And when I saw that, it just felt all too real.
Yeah.
I felt like for the first time that, things can happen. Mm-hmm. And it was very, very scary based off my work experience. I do what I love. strong passion for it, and I'm sure those people did too. Yeah,
and you've done a number of live shots out on the streets, things of that nature. I mean, was there a crowd around this interview as he walked up? Do you think? 'Cause I didn't hear anybody really talking about that, because when you watch the Twitter video that the cameraman filmed while he's getting ready to shoot the reporter, you see him hold the gun up at one point, position his camera phone, and then drop the gun back down, and then like another 10 or 20 seconds goes by before he does it again. And you'd think people around would have seen that, but would you not think there was an audience around at the time?
Well, there's a couple of reasons why I don't think. The first is it's 7 o'clock in the morning over there. Or what?
Yeah, 6:45 was the
right, and they're at a theme park, I think, a water park, and at 6:45 at a water park, people haven't even showed up yet. Most of those places open at 8 a.m. It's probably why the news crew was there. You know, they get there early. They get to talk to, I believe, the third victim, who's still alive.
Yeah. She last report I heard, I think she's pulling through the surgery. Yeah, she's in stable condition, last I heard, but I'm not positive on that. But yeah.
But they were interviewing her, and they were all there, and I believe it was just those three. So they probably saw him, and I mean, he got fired in 2013.
Yeah, 2 years ago. I was thinking, I immediately, when it happened, I said, this is probably a disgruntled employee. So I was right about that. But I would think it would have been something that happened at least within the last 2 to 4 weeks at max. And 2 years ago, I mean, come on. I mean, why the duration? You'd think, it's just.
Who knows, what goes through somebody's mind when they plan to kill somebody. But, back to the first question. There was almost nobody in that park. So when they saw him, they probably thought, oh, he got a job here. He wants to say hi. And that's probably why they didn't notice. They know the guy, and they kind of just put him out of your mind. That's if they even noticed him. Based on my experience as a camera operator, you have that. It's hard to explain without being on camera, but you have a viewfinder, and that goes into your right eye.
Right.
Your left eye is most of the time closed, and you're focusing on your subject, on your shot. He was also panned out to a big wide shot, and then he pans to the left to his two subjects, and the gunman was far to his left.
Right.
So I'm almost positive
I think in his last shot, though, he got a picture of the gunman on camera. I think that was one of the fleeting images from his camera before
probably his final moment, yeah.
And then they cut off camera, and it goes back to the station. Yeah, and then it goes back to the station, and the reporter who's on the desk just has this look of shock on her face. And she didn't even know really what had happened. She was confused. She was like, I'm not certain what happened there. And then they broke away to another break or something after that. But, it just, and then, of course, it ignites the gun debate stuff again. And I'm a proponent of managing guns. I do believe in assault weapons bans, things of that nature. The basic, he had just a semi-automatic pistol there. I don't think you would have controlled that. What's your position on something like that?
Well, I don't think any more gun control is going to help anything. I don't think it's not going to help. More tougher gun laws. If a criminal wants to kill you, they're going to find a way to kill you.
Yeah, they'll run you down with a car, or they'll do something. Yeah, but you're hearing, of course, the left immediately goes to the gun control debates, and this is an ongoing cycle and everything. And his tipping point was, the massacre in Charleston, the church shooting, and he's just a nut job. We can't protect against nut jobs out there, and he wanted to
never tell.
And in his 23-page manifesto that he faxed over to ABC News that came about yesterday, I mean, the parts of it are starting to hit the news media now. He wanted to ignite a race war. You hear this a lot. I think the Dylan Roof guy who shot the people in Charleston, he had the same thing. They wanted to ignite a race war, and you wonder what kind of fantasy land these people are living in. I mean, what do they think is going to happen? Do they honestly believe that they're going to ignite a race war? It astounds me.
Yeah, why? I mean, we were talking about this before the show. If you like a certain band or certain style of movies or whatever your religion is, that's no reason for me to harm you. I can disagree with you and then just not deal with you.
Right.
Why would anyone use that as grounds to harm someone else?
Yeah, it's I've never understood, why a core trait of the basic human being is that they cannot accept differences in other people, and that they want to inflict harm or hatred upon them. There's people I don't like, groups I don't like, and I don't even deal with them. I leave it alone, and I just do not understand. And you and I share that same sentiment. We have people have religious differences, cultural differences, regional differences, whatever the case may be. And in this case, he was an African-American male, also gay, and so he felt victimized throughout his entire career. And people that are living in this fantasy world, that everything that happens to them, they pigeonhole it into a position of, oh, it's because I'm black, or it's because I'm gay, or whatever it is. And you've got to avoid that type of thinking. I mean, it happens, all way too often. And that is the crux of the problem right there. It's just that mentality right there. It's, racism is a core part of, humanity. It's never going to go away because all, the human beings as a whole, we have that trait, or that if you're different, we can't accept you. And, unfortunately, it just, got to the boiling point again.
Yeah, honestly, I think he could have had a million different reasons. He was born to do what he did. Mm-hmm. That was going to happen regardless of whatever excuse he could come up with. That was inside of him. Mm-hmm. I mean, he could have used a million excuses. The ones he chose happen to be topical and hot in the news right now.
Yeah,
it's just convenient.
Yeah,
right. Mm-hmm. Why would you do that?
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to harm. I mean, he set out a couple of years ago when he got fired from his job to harm somebody.
Yeah,
and he looked for the perfect time to do it.
Yeah, and he'd worked at a number of places. His reporting was always subpar. Some reports that came out late yesterday, he scored like a 1 out of 5 on a job, or critiquing of his work. They called him he wasn't coachable. And every time he was given a critique of something, he thought he was being discriminated against. Right. And you can't do that. I mean, I always talk a lot in business. One of the best things you can be is coachable. If you're coachable, you can do a lot of things, and that's something I'm very good at. I listen to people that say negative things, or not necessarily negative, but give me critique. You need to do this better. You can do this, as long as it's constructive and it's not inflammatory or something of that nature. If you're coachable, you'll be surprised at what you can get to in life and in your career.
For sure. I asked for it. Mm-hmm. I asked my boss, hey, what do you think I can do better? Is everything? I ask you, mm-hmm. Hey, is there anything I could be doing better?
Yeah.
I mean, that's, for me, that's normal thought process. I can't understand why people don't catch on to that.
And if somebody's giving you criticism and your mind immediately goes to, it's because I'm this or it's because I'm that, you gotta eliminate that type of thinking.
It's your insecurities.
That's your insecurities coming up, and you go to the race card, or it's because I'm gay or whatever in this guy's situation. You got to avoid that type of thinking. You got to stay positive and be coachable, and understand that you'll get more out of life by being positive and maintaining a positive outlook on things. It's just I know that event yesterday really shook me up. It's just sad to see somebody just going about their job, and it wasn't even a dangerous interview. It's what I do every day. They was talking to a business professional. Same here.
And I think we need to practice more acceptance and tolerance, but we also need thicker skin, because a lot of people are getting offended over small things, and they're blowing them up and creating a lot of chaos because of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I got to take a quick break. Coming back from another break, I'm going to talk with Kai Yaniz, managing member and financial coach with the Vault Key. You're currently listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
Have you considered a reverse mortgage as part of your retirement financial plan? For homeowners age 62 or older, a reverse mortgage from Access Reverse Mortgage is a safe, economical way to turn your home's equity into cash or monthly income. Access Reverse Mortgage is a family-owned company based right here in the Tampa Bay area for the past 10 years. They are A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau and Florida's leading reverse mortgage provider. Call 727-347-0305 or go to accessreverse.com to start your research today. NMLS number 4566. That's 727-347-0305.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Meloni of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING.
Help promote the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy. Tune in weekdays at 8 a.m. on 1250 Wins WHNZ to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where he promotes what is right with our community and highlights the successes of our entrepreneurs. Show contributor openings also available. You can learn more about the show and how to become part of this growing network at TampaBayRadio.com. Tune in weekdays at 8 a.m. to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage wants you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
Eastbound Park Boulevard, a couple lanes blocked at Belcher. Crash on State Road 54 east of Madison Street blocking the lane. North and southbound East Lake is slow south of Keystone due to a couple accidents in that area over in Hillsborough County. There's one along Dale Mabry at Linebaugh. Interstate's very slow through Tampa. Downtown, of course, typical stuff there. North and southbound 75 slow in Brandon. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Utica. Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Boys and Girls Club of America.
It's 3 p.m. School's out for America's kids. And when school's out, clubs are in. It's time to support the Boys and Girls Clubs. Visit greatfutures.org.
Today, a 50-50 chance of showers and thunderstorms, high 90. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low 77. Tomorrow, a 50% rain chance, high 91.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Welcome back to the program, everybody, and thanks for staying tuned in. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Again, you'll find the show on here weekday mornings at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ. And as always, learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com. Time to bring on my guest for the show. Kai Yaniz is a managing member and financial coach with the Vault Key, a financial coaching firm that works with you to evaluate how to make the most of your income and develop a positive relationship with money. Kai, welcome to the program today.
Hi, Jamie. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let's talk about, first of all, how did the Vault Key come about?
Well, I've had my business now for 3.5 years, and it really started as a side project. And I really, it really started with my spouse was going through some financial issues, and I helped him get out of debt, and was able to help him save money based on my own tried and true money
Now,
principles.
you're not a traditional financial advisor that you would see at a major company, or so to speak. This is a privately owned financial coaching firm that you have founded 3+ years ago, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so you're not a licensed financial advisor. I want to make sure we don't confuse the listeners
Right,
into
because
that.
it does get confusing. I was licensed years back, but it's since lapsed. But I do coaching. So what I tell advisors and their clientele is I help them get money so that way they can then invest it.
Okay, so the investors, the financial advisors then are telling the consumers, all right, take the money and put it here, and here. You're helping to coach people on their spending habits. So you're like a life coach for finances then, so to speak.
Yes, exactly. I like that description.
So how did you get motivated to start the Vault Key? You said your spouse had some issues. You helped him work out of that. Have you always been a natural saver, so to speak, and like to manage money? How did all this come about?
Well, when I was younger, I wasn't really the best saver. I like to spend the money I made from my part-time jobs, but I came from a background of my mother and my grandmother, both very frugal people by nature, and my grandmother was brought up in the Great Depression. My mother was a single mother, raising 2 daughters, trying to start her own business. So I just observed that behavior and really liked the whole idea of prosperity. So yeah, I would say in my mid-20s is when I got better at saving, and I started investing in the stock market. I've worked in the banking industry throughout my career, actually. So I have a lot of background on finances and investing, and it's just fun. I like to be an educator. So I have a YouTube videos as well where I talk about things like identity theft and medical bills and just hey, how to be financially free.
Right. Financial stress is also a huge relationship killer. And so you have a natural advantage in your relationship that you're a financial coach. And tell me how that benefits your relationship then. Obviously, debts destroy relationships. They destroy marriages. Tell me how it's benefited your relationship then, having this mindset on proper money management.
Well, I think the biggest benefit is just that my husband and I both know where each other comes from. And we've had different living environments with our finances, but we both know the end goal is for us to both save money for personally as well as jointly. We save together so we can save for our household expenses, and we save for our future life. And then we also say, okay, well, I'm going to save personally too, so that way I can be able to take care of myself if I need to, or I can buy things for myself and not worry so much. And so I think that's the biggest thing is we save together, but we also spend together, and we just try to make every financial decision together. Even in my own business, I consult my husband.
Yeah, I just talked to I've covered this topic a number of times on my show, just the stress that debts and finances put on a relationship. And you really got to talk about that early in a relationship. Make sure that you're both on the same page financially. And if you're not, you need to get some help with that, or else it's just going to rip the relationship apart. Whenever I talk to the divorce specialists, that and communication, those are the two things they always cite as reasons for ripping apart a relationship. So definitely people need to be looking out for your services, and they can get some information about you at thevaultkey.com. That is your website here, thevaultkey.com. Talk to me about the different services now that you offer with your company.
Well, my main service is really just helping people, get out of debt and developing a healthy relationship with money, and ultimately changing the behavior relationship.
Do you do like credit counseling, credit repair type of stuff, or is it mostly, let me see your spending habits, let me see what you're spending on, let me see what you're making, let me give you some input on what you should be doing and not doing? I'm just trying to understand the service a little bit better.
Well, with my clients, I do get into credit a little bit. In fact, I have some discussion point to talk about credit reports, but that's not what the focus is. But ultimately, in order for someone to get out of debt, they have to understand credit and how to get out of there. And honestly, you can get out of debt by yourself. You don't need a debt management company or a debt consolidation company to do that for you. You can do it on your own. So I empower them in order to do that. And I also don't try to do anything that's too personal with investments. We just kind of worked hand in hand, but I don't say, okay, show me your bank statements. So.
How many people have you worked with through the years now? 3.5 years in business. How many people have you put through your program, or how many people do you counsel on a regular basis?
Well, it's starting small. So I'm just getting my name out there and getting out there in the community and trying to build my following.
And so what is the long-term plan with this? Do you want to grow this and to have different advisors that come in and also do counseling? Do you want to get into financial management someday? Just trying to understand where you want to take your business as well.
Well, what I'm actually designing right now is I do have specialized programs for like wedding budgeting and self-employment budgeting, first-time parent, first-time home buyer, coaching for children and teenagers. But really what I'm going to do, what I'm working on now is a training module for Training module for wedding budgeting and
that's an interesting topic. So you're not going to be a wedding planner, so to speak. You're just going to be handling the budgeting. So you'd work with the wedding planners, handling the event coordination, all that. Is that kind of where you're coming from?
Well, sort of, because wedding planners and what my plan is are they're related, similar to financial advising, but it's a little bit different. So when I think about it, I think about what it was like when I planned my own wedding and how I was constantly looking for a bargain. I was constantly trying to find the best vendor. How I was trying to constantly see, okay, do I want to do an a la carte option for vendors, or do I want to just go ahead and do it all in one package? So working with clients on that, it's to guide their hand and say, okay, well, maybe this vendor is not the best option for you based on your budget, based on your mission.
Okay. Hold that point. Got to take a quick break, but coming back from the break, I'm going to talk more with Kai Yaniz, managing member and financial coach with the Vault Key. We're going to talk a little bit about how Americans got themselves into so much debt. And you're currently listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tile, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
At Linebaugh. Interstate's very slow through Tampa. Downtown, of course, typical stuff there. North and southbound 75 slow in Brandon. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Utica. Hillsborough traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Unbound. Ever wonder where your charitable donations are really going? At Unbound, you'll know who you're helping and what impact your support is having on their life. That's just one way Unbound is different. Learn more at unbound.org.
1250 winds weather center forecast. Expect a few more showers today with the rain chance at 50%. See a mix of sun and clouds, things increasing through the afternoon. High today into the low 90s, tonight's lows, upper 70s. Impact Radio 1250 winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 winds, WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Welcome back to the program, everybody, and thanks for staying tuned in. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Again, this show is on weekday mornings at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ, a business variety show, a little something different each and every morning as I talk to all the different business owners, entrepreneurs, political, community leaders about what they're doing in Tampa Bay to make a difference. I invite you to tune in each and every morning, take a break from all the political news and sports talk that's on each and every morning with a show about what people are doing in the community to make a difference. Also, the show is always looking for partners, always looking for content, always looking for guests. So the best way to get me, send me a message through the contact form over at tampabayradio.com. Let me know what it is that you're doing, why you'd like to become a part of the show. And there is no charge just to come in here one time as a guest, so don't let that stop you. But please send me a message. A lot of people reach out to me each and every day and give me ideas for the show, and I love hearing from the community, and this is just something I love to be able to be a part of each and every morning. So I love to hear from the community and the business owners and the people that are leading our community. So again, contact form over at tampabayradio.com. Currently talk with Kai Yaniz. She is the managing member of the Vault Key. And so, Kai, let's talk a little bit about how Americans, we're such a debt-ridden country. It's just our culture, so to speak. How has America allowed ourselves to get into so much debt that we need this type of financial counseling that you offer?
Well, my answer to that is just too many options and too little money. The issue with debt is that there's a lot of awareness on what you can do and what you should buy on credit, but not enough on how to pay for it. So that's, I think, is the biggest thing, is that we're all like being surrounded by advertisements and luxury impulse buys, and yet there's not enough awareness on how to get out of debt or why we shouldn't be in debt. And it's gotten better. I mean, the statistics are definitely better for our society getting out of debt. We were much worse in 2008, but now with the recession, with that happening, it's much better, but there's still a lot more work that needs to be done. So
now, you said people can get out of debt without, a lot of, coaching. I'm going to say coaching, so to speak, but without, a lot of the professional services out there. How do you coach, or what do you advise people to do? How do you get people out of debt? Do you just like I said in the last segment, do you just look at other financial statements and say, you got to quit spending on this, you got to do this, got to eliminate that? How do you implement your service?
Well, I think for me, the biggest thing is just teaching that saving money can be fun. It can be fun to get interest.
How can saving money be fun? We want to spend and we want to go out there and have fun,
Well, it's interesting you asked that. I think saving's fun. But I think seeing your account grow just from interest-bearing accounts or dividends, that's fun. That's free money. You just left it in an account somewhere, and now you just made $5.
But meanwhile, you're eating ramen noodles and watching reruns of Seinfeld every evening. I mean, it gets a little boring. You got to get out there and live a little, right?
True. And I'm actually a big proponent.
I said that because that's what I do in the evenings, by the way.
And I watch my Seinfeld too. Trust me. I'm a big proponent of spending money as well. I mean, I'm not living in my house eating ramen noodles and never going out to eat, never doing anything fun. But it comes with limits. So there's a lot of. You have vouchers out there where you can just do things for not that much money. You can also do things just around the community that are free. And there's a lot of beautiful things to see in the world. And you can still eat well without breaking the bank by shopping at local supermarkets and, the local butcher and just really just changing your viewpoint. I'm not going to say, don't buy that Starbucks coffee. I buy my Starbucks coffee and I'm not ashamed to say that. I like it. And you should treat yourself, because if you keep living your life where you're restricting yourself in every aspect, including your finances, it is a boring life, and it can be stressful even if you have enough money to save or you're getting yourself out of debt. You don't want to limit yourself too much.
Does your husband share your same outlook on spending and saving as you, or is that like we talked in the last segment about how finances are a key component of keeping a relationship happy? But does he share the same outlook on spending and saving as you?
He does more so now. In fact, he's becoming a better saver than I am.
You whipped him into shape, right?
I did. I think he thinks it's fun. He wants to keep building his savings account and be prosperous. And I think his biggest thing actually, and this is terrible to say, but he's really generous. I think that's his biggest setback. Is he's very generous. He's very generous with his family. He's very generous with me. He's very generous with his friends, and so I think that's sometimes the biggest thing. But I do think that when you give, you get back.
Right.
So, but no, he absolutely does. My luck is that if he does really well in his business, he's going to end up wanting to save everything, and I'm still have to.
I remember a tip with credit card management years ago. I don't know if I haven't had to try it in a while, but are credit card companies receptive to if you call them and you just ask them to lower the interest rate on credit cards? I remember when I was younger, my dad said, you just call the credit card companies, tell them you're going to leave them, and they'll lower your interest rate a lot of times. And it did work. Does that work today?
Yeah, absolutely. They want to keep you as a customer because it takes them less work to retain a customer than to find a new one. So yeah, I mean, if you don't think that you should have such a high interest rate, or it's not even that high, but you still want to lower it, yeah, call the credit card company and tell them and say, I have been a loyal customer. Same thing, if they charge you a late fee, call them and say, hey, I got charged a late fee, been a loyal customer, never been late before, or have been late in a couple of years. Can you waive this? Yeah, a lot of times they're very happy to oblige.
Yeah, I remember doing that when I was younger, and it worked each time. I was able to lower them like 4 or 5% on each of the cards. And so, yeah, that actually works. Where are some websites and some apps that people can use that are interested in budgeting and saving?
Well, some of my favorites are Acorns. This is a savings tool where
Acorns. What's Acorns? Is this an app or a website?
It's an app. It mostly goes through the app, whether on iPhone or Android. But it does also have a website. But you have to do a lot of the transactions through the app.
Okay, so it's just called Acorns. Acorns. Okay, yes. Just like the nut.
Yeah, just like the nut. Exactly. Right. So what it does is it rounds your purchases the next dollar. And I know there are some bank accounts that do that for you, but this is just an app that decided to do it on their own way. And it also acts as an investment program to sign up for too. So it has that benefit. Okay. I have this app on my phone, but I haven't used it extensively, but I've heard a lot of great things. It's called Expensify. And this is a great app for business owners actually, because it's the go-to for adding your expenses or your mileage, your client deposits, your projects, all your card transactions in one spot, and also your receipts. So that one is great. But my ultimate favorite, and I use it every single day, especially after what happened on Monday,
With the stock market decline, it's right back up again.
Yeah.
I don't know why people get so flustered over these stock market dips. It just comes right back up.
Because finances are a very sensitive subject for people.
You know what it's called when the stock market drops 1,000 points?
Volatility.
No, it's a sale. The stock market's on sale is what it means. And you know what? All the money managers up on Wall Street are licking their chops because you know what? They got paid that day. That's why the stock market goes right back up the next day. I don't know. You see that, and unless I'm cashing out that day, I'm not worried about it. I really am not.
Right. Well, yeah, because the stock market ultimately gets better returns over the long term anyway than a lot of other investment vehicles. So that's why it's still the tried and true method of kind of making passive income quickly if you're in it for the long haul. But I use Yahoo Finance. I'm such a big fan because I can just plug all my investments in one portfolio, mention what I bought it for, and then I can see it move up. I can include my commission on there
I do like Yahoo Finance. If I'm looking up stock information, Yahoo Finance I think is my favorite site as well for financial news. So definitely a good point right there. I've used Yahoo Finance for 12 plus years or so. Now, do you offer investment advice? You're not a financial planner, right, or a traditional financial advisor. I'll make that clear again. But do you get in any type of guidance, so to speak, with stocks, bonds, things like that? Or are you just mostly just coaching and teaching people on money management techniques?
It's mostly teaching on money management. Since I'm not licensed, I don't want to give wrong advice. I was licensed before, and I do have that background. But I do know some great investment advisory firms and people that people can reach out to, and they can help them with their finances.
Now, who are your main clientele in the community? Is pretty much anybody from a student, somebody opening up an account for the first time, to somebody with millions or so in the bank? Who do you cater to in the community for clients?
Well, right now I'm really wanting to work with the students. I actually have a upcoming presentation at HCC on September 16th to talk to the students and talk to them about how I got in my business. But I really want to talk to the students because they're the ones that are really dealing with this, with maybe not having as much financial literacy and needing to learn those financial principles early, because if they don't, it can be a bad avalanche for the rest of their lives. So I'm really wanting to touch students and 25 to 35-year-olds with young children, single parents, first-time home buyers, just people that are just really getting their feet wet in the business world. And
yeah, that's good that you're invited into HCC to speak about financial management. It's an area that our public school system is lacking most definitely. We have such an emphasis on history, English, math, science, which are all important, but there's nothing about financial management in there unless you get an elective in some of the schools that have something like that. I mean, I was clueless on money management when I came out of high school. I bought my first car, lost my job 6 weeks later, went to take it back, and they said, "You're upside down. You can't." I said, "What do you mean I'm upside down?" I didn't even know what that meant. Something as basic as being upside down on an asset. I didn't understand what that meant, and I was 21 years old. Here I am with a brand new 2000 year Jeep, and I couldn't. Luckily, I got another job, and I was able to recover that. But I bought this brand new vehicle because I had a good paying job and thought I could just take it right back to the car dealership and sell it. You can't do that. So, I mean, we need more financial literacy in our high schools, and of course, it's in college, if you go in the financial path. But yeah, I definitely could have used that. How do you see this?
Well, I don't know if you know this, but back in 2013, Governor Rick Scott proclaimed April as Financial Literacy Month. And with that proclamation, there is now a financial literacy program being mandated by the government, state government, to teach in the schools. So it's only a half credit, and it's taught during economics time, but it's bringing that financial literacy and financial principles to the forefront. And this is a program that a lot of other states are implementing as well. So it's out there, but they don't know yet what the return on investment is on that.
Now, when you're advising clients on debt management, what do you advise that they pay off first? Do you advise they just focus on the credit cards and that? What debts should they pay off first?
Well, it depends on what the highest interest rate is. So let's say, hypothetically, you have the highest interest rate on your house, which I don't know how that's possible, but okay, I'd say try to start working on the house debt. But really, it's just your highest interest rate. So if you have multiple credit cards that have debt on them, then whatever one has the highest interest rate, just tackle it first and then just go down the line.
And probably a good tip is if it's a secured debt, meaning it's backed by an actual physical asset such as a house, those should be last on the list to pay off, a house, because if you ever get in a dire situation, you can always sell that asset, to cover the unsecured debts, the credit cards, the student loans, things of that nature. Is that how you advise? Right.
And it's also with a secured debt, it's a fixed amount. You know how much you have to pay every single month, and you know that is the bill that you're going to have for a period of time, similar to a car. But when you have a credit card, that could go up or that could go down, and you could do the mathematical calculation for your interest rate every month, but you could be off. So.
Right. Plus, you get the tax savings on like a house payment. The interest is deductible. The taxes are deductible, and so with a credit card, no longer is credit card interest tax deductible. I think it was up through like the 80s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it. Well, I'm not positive on that. I'm speaking off the top of my head there without doing any research there, but I think credit card interest was at one point tax deductible up until the 80s. But I may be wrong about that. I'm just speaking off the top of my head right now. I got to take a quick break, but coming back from the break, I'm going to wrap it up here with Kai Yaniz, managing member and financial coach with the Vault Key. And you're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Meloni of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
Have you considered a reverse mortgage as part of your retirement financial plan? For homeowners age 62 or older, a reverse mortgage from Access Reverse Mortgage is a safe, economical way to turn your home's equity into cash or monthly income. Access Reverse Mortgage is a family-owned company based right here in the Tampa Bay area for the past 10 years. They are A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau and Florida's leading reverse mortgage provider. Call 727-347-0305 or go to accessreverse.com to start your research today. NMLS number 4566. That's 727-347-0305.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage. Help promote the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy. Tune in weekdays at 8 a.m. on 1250 WINS WHNZ to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where he promotes what is right with our community and highlights the successes of our entrepreneurs. Show contributor openings also available. You can learn more about the show and how to become part of this growing network at TampaBayRadio.com. Tune in weekdays at 8 a.m. to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
Big delays now on the eastbound side of the Courtney Campbell Causeway. Crash just past the big bridge, and that is stacking things up if you're heading towards Tampa. May want to consider the Howard Franklin Bridge if you can get to it. Traffic very slow on 275 and Almerton through St. Petersburg due to rain showers. Southbound Veterans Expressway, it's jammed from the Citrus Park area to around Waters. North and southbound 275 through downtown Tampa. Typical delays there, and a crash at Dale Mabry and Linebaugh. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Utica Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Stand Up to Cancer.
I'm Tony Goldwyn. 20 years ago, when my mom had lung cancer, she didn't have many choices. But today, you do. If you've been diagnosed with lung cancer, please visit standuptocancer.org/lung cancer to learn more.
Today, a 50-50 chance of showers and thunderstorms, high 90. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low 77. Tomorrow, a 50% rain chance, high 91.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Welcome back to the program, everybody. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Again, weekday mornings at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ, a show with a positive message each morning as I talk to different business owners, entrepreneurs, political, and community leaders about what they are doing to make a difference in and around the Tampa Bay and regional communities. And as always, learn more about the show at tampabayradio.com. Currently in studio with Kai Yaniz, managing member and financial coach with the Vault Key, a financial coaching firm that works with you to evaluate how to make the most of your income and develop a positive relationship with money. And you can learn more about her and her company at thevaultkey.com. So, Kai, let's talk a little bit more about how debt affects people.
I think that would be great. So I would say the four big ways that debt can affect people is buying a house, buying a nice automobile, getting a job, and having lower automobile insurance rates. So with buying a house, I mean, if you don't have a very good credit score or your credit report needs improvement, you could either get a higher interest rate on the house and not even know it, or even be denied the loan altogether.
Right.
And, you have to kind of start from scratch and put your dream house on the side.
Yeah, I was taught at a young age, get into a house as early as possible. Fortunately, I did get into one before the crash. I bought a home in 2003 and sold it 2 years to the date later, because 2 years after you own a homestead, you get the tax. You're not taxed on the capital gains, and so I sold it 2 years after that. Made a good profit on that. Then the market crashed. So unfortunately, I should say, the place I bought after that, a condo over by the University of South Florida, did not do so good. I still have those things, and I wish the building would burn to the ground. But I bought for $86,000, and it's now worth about $17,000. So God. I lived there for a couple years. Went back to school at USF. Ended up buying a couple other units in the development. So cost dollar averaging, as the financial professionals call it, I kind of buy into that a little bit and say, okay, I didn't lose so much here because I made here and I made here. But this one that I wish I had just kind of didn't see it in the paper that day. I was looking in the paper and I saw the ad for that. But you win some and you lose some. But yeah, definitely want to get into a house. That's a huge key to financial freedom. But go ahead and continue.
No, I like the fact you're a real estate agent and you also have investment properties. That's great. So you're very
there's a couple I wish I didn't have, but yes, I do.
Hey, it's something. Also with a nice automobile. I mean, similar thing to buying a house is you either get a higher interest rate, or you're just not able to get the car that you want. So you either can wait, or you can say, all right, I'll get the car that's older because I'm not approved for the loan to get the nice car that I wanted.
Right. And
getting a job, I think, is the biggest one that a lot of people don't really realize, is that more and more companies are checking your credit report.
Yeah, why is that? Why is employers, unless you're doing some type of financial management, why are they checking your credit reports for, if you have a good credit score or not? I mean, what is that? It is a trend over the last several years, though. You're right.
Yeah, absolutely. And working in the financial industry, that happened to me. I mean, I worked in banking, so they checked my credit report. And to note, they actually don't check your credit score. It's just a credit report, and they all have different flags that they use to decide if someone is going to be a good candidate or not. So they do not run the credit score.
Okay, so you don't get the score. They're just looking at your credit report and seeing if you have any bad debts or if you're not paying the man or something. And
right. Well, some companies really go by specific standards. So one company might say, well, I only care if you have a student loan debt, because that shows that, like, if they're an educational company and you have student loan debt, clearly you don't respect education. Some might just say, hey, if you have $10,000 of liens against you, then we're going to have to deny you the job because that's too high on our standard.
Right.
They all have different standards. So I think
it comes back to the integrity of the company. The company's trying to maintain a certain brand image, certain level of integrity. So, okay, I understand.
I think it's just to keep it competitive too. So, if you have that candidate that has everything's great, they have great education, the great experience, they're great, but then maybe there was another candidate they maybe wanted more, then the credit report's a good way to really keep it competitive and make sure you're keeping integrity of the firm and what you're going to be employed on. And so some people might be like, well, why does it matter? But some employers do use it as a ranking system to see how you are in your own personal life. So if they figure you have a lot of debt, then you clearly can't run your life, and that's not a fair assumption.
Right. Now, do you help as part of your services? Do you do credit counseling, things like that? How do you help people with credit reports, or what tips can you give people on credit reports?
I want to empower them. So I give lessons like I do look at credit reports and with the approval of the client, and I give them guidance on what they're looking at. So if they don't understand, well, what's the installment loan, or what's this secured credit? What's this inquiry? Where did this come from? Just giving them, making them wise on how that affects their credit rating, and teach them how to dispute those collections if they disagree, or if it's been there for a long time and it just keeps being renewed, and teach them how to dispute that, and just empower them really. That they don't need other people.
The credit repair business, that's a tricky business out there right now. A lot of people that are listening out there, just be cautious of the people that you use for credit repair, because there is a criminal element that is descended upon that industry. And so a lot of people looking to take advantage of people on the credit repair services. And so, there's credit counselors, and I had one for a sponsor for a while, and he was a great guy, and he offered just, credit counseling. He did a great job at that, called him Dr. Credit. And we talked a lot about the, what goes on inside that industry. And there's just a lot of companies out there that will get your credit reports, and they'll just immediately start disputing the credit, the charges against you. They'll say, oh, it's not mine, it's not mine, it's not mine, and which is falsifying information. It is yours, but it is a defense that a number of credit repair companies will utilize. They'll just send out these letters, I'll prove it's mine, prove it's mine. And that's not what he did. He was a counselor. He came in and sort of like what you do. You come in and he tells you what you should do and what you should not do. But yeah, I hear horror stories a lot of times from people that use these credit repair companies. So definitely need to look out for that. But that is another service, though, that you offer, is just guidance, not actual disputes like, falsifying letters saying, hey, this isn't mine, so to speak, right?
Of course not, yeah. When I have integrity in everything that I do as well. And just really kind of being a guiding hand, and if they want me next to them while I make that call, I'll be right there to mention what they could say and what questions they should ask. So it's all about empowerment and guidance.
Yeah. Well, got to wrap up the interview. A great discussion today. Kai Yaniz, I greatly appreciate you stopping in here this early Thursday morning. Be sure to avoid the rain out there. Here we're in South Tampa right now, and I can hear it pounding on the wall, the ceilings, or the roof, I should say. And, South Tampa tends to flood. So be safe out there.
Yes, it does.
We got a lot of rain, I guess, coming our way again. But again, Kai Yaniz, managing member and financial coach with the Vault Key. Learn more about her and her organization at thevaultkey.com. Kai, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And it's time to wrap up another episode of That Business Show. I greatly appreciate you all turning in. Again, remember, you'll find the show on here weekday mornings at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ, a business variety show, a little something different each and every morning as I talk to different business owners, entrepreneurs, political, and community leaders about what they are doing in the Tampa Bay and surrounding communities to make a difference. So tune in each and every morning, take a break from all the political news and sports talk that dominates our airwaves just a little bit too much. And as always, feel free to reach out to me with an idea for the show via the contact form at tampabayradio.com. You've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
The opinion.